I'm sure that there are Sundays when the theme of the morning may seem irrelevant to your concerns or needs. That would be difficult to believe today, for I want for us to think together about loneliness. We are all included. To be human is to experience periods of loneliness. You know, years ago, Billy Graham was asked, what is the number one problem that plagues more people these days than any other? His instant response, loneliness. It is loneliness that plagues millions of people. In a poll of psychiatric patients, more than 80% of those interviewed admitted that loneliness was the principal reason they sought help. It strikes without regard to age or place or color or nationality. A lonely child wanting companionship once said to his mother, "Mommy, I wish I were two little puppies so I could play together." There is the loneliness of the adolescent who is trying to find his or her way among peer groups. There is the loneliness of a person who longs for someone with whom to share. There's the loneliness of couples feel estranged from their partners even while living together, ships passing in the night. There's the loneliness of one who has lost a loved one, the longing for the sound of a voice that is still. Old and young, rich or poor, male or female, loneliness can assail us at any time and often for apparently no reason. It doesn't happen just on dark days, points out novelist Faith Baldwin. It can pierce you like a knife on a spring morning or a golden summer afternoon, no matter where you are or what you are doing. I think it is not too much to say that a basic art of life consists of finding ways to conquer this universal concern. We distinguish between loneliness and solitude. Some of the most radiant and productive people are those who by necessity are alone much of the time, but who have learned to use their time creatively. In fact, we all need periods of aloneness from which we generate renewal for our crowded days. That's why the psalmist meant when he said, "He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul." We grow in solitude, said Goethe. Nothing great is ever accomplished in a crowd. We must learn to pause or nothing worthwhile can catch up with us. There are possibilities, positive possibilities in aloneness. The experience can teach us to appreciate more fully the family and friends that we do have. We've been so aware of late of folks who are isolated. Dennis is dealing this right now with his stepson, and we know how important it is to be in community with family or friends or church. It makes such a difference. The deepest need of the human spirit is to love and to be loved. When this need goes unfulfilled, we are lonely. Reinhold Niebuhr said, "To love ourselves is our greatest hope. To have another love us is our greatest joy. To love another is our greatest fulfillment." We are born to love, to reach out to others, and to be receptive as others reach out to us. We're lonely because we build walls instead of bridges. We isolate and we insulate ourselves. Emerson wrote, "All are needed by each one. Nothing is good or fair alone." You know, Corinne Wills tells about how she and her husband were lured by a stop to a stop at a roadside sign that was advertising antiques. Walking onto the porch, they were met by two ladies who ushered Corinne and her husband into their living room, where they served them tea. And when they asked to see the antiques, one of the women responded hesitantly, "We are the antiques." We needed friends, but how to make them? And that's what we thought of the antique sign. Only nice people appreciate nice things. But remember, our sign did not say antiques for sale. We've made so many beautiful friendships. We correspond with many of them. We believe that God is not angry with us for this little trick, and we hope that you aren't either. Would you care for some more tea or maybe a cookie? In our church, our responsibilities are twofold. We seek an awareness of God and a commitment to loving relationships with others. We come not just to fulfill a duty of physical presence, but to nurture friendships that are valuable to us all, relationships that transform God's lonely people into God's lovely people. It is good for us to be together, not just as a collection of individuals, not just as folks conveniently worshiping together, but as a community of love and concern. There is another dimension, equally real and important. It is that at oneness, atonement, not only with another human being, but with God. Only that relationship can ultimately rescue us from our loneliness. Augustine stated it in his well-known prayer, "O God, thou hast created us for thyself, and our hearts are restless until they find their rest in thee." We all yearn, aspire, reach out to know God, the God who created us. In prayer, in meditation, in reflection, and on the searching of the Scriptures, we seek God and we find God. The greatest promises of the Bible are those that assure God's children of God's presence among us. Remember these words, Joshua 1:9. "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Isaiah 43:2. "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you." Psalm 46:1. "God is our refuge and our strength, and ever-present help in trouble." Deuteronomy 33:27. "The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms." We come to know Christ as a never-failing companion, the Christ who told his followers, "I call you not servants but friends. I will never leave or forsake you." In all of literature, there is surely no more comforting assurance and promise than Christ's word, "Lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." With such a presence, we find our strength, and we are lifted above desolation and loneliness and despair, and we know the peace of God which passes all understanding. And we say, thanks be to God. Amen.